Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Ocarina of Time. We are standing here right outside of Ganon's castle, the final dungeon in the game, so I say we step on forward and start the beginning of the end. Now, Ganon's castle, of course, being the final dungeon, you would expect it to be somewhat difficult to get through, you know? It could really be either like one of two possibilities. It could be the hardest one we faced yet, or just sort of like a, large but still easy preparatory sort of stage. And in this game, it sort of follows the latter convention. It's really not that hard to find your way around. It's quite straightforward, so there's no real chance of getting lost here or anything. It's pretty much just a matter of completing it. So once we get out here, this is obviously the main area sort of Ganon's castle here. We've got this doorway with this big barrier around it. If you run into it, you take damage and get flung back, so obviously you don't want to do that. But it seems as though it's being powered by these little pillars here that are sort of shooting off energy towards it, so obviously our main objective is to go into each of these doors and shut off the power, so to speak, within. So, and you can also tell that there are medallions above the door that correspond to each of the temples that we went to, so it sort of also gives you a taste of what the room's going to be like. But I say we just go ahead and get the first one started. It doesn't matter what order you do these in. As long as you take them all out by the end, it'll be fine. So as we step forward, we've got a Wolfos to deal with. And again, they're super easy. There you go. Once he does that, a chest appears, but you don't really even need to worry about that. If you're curious, it has 5 rupees. So if you really want 5 rupees at this point, you can waste the time with it, but I'm not, of course. So in order to solve this little puzzle here, we're going to need fire arrows and Din's fire. Obviously, you can tell if you have a bunch of unlit torches, especially if they're in a fancy little pattern like that, and you're going to need to light them. So I like to light this one first and then use Din's fire. And that will open the door. We can go on through and see what the next room's like. And this one is definitely the most annoying of this little series here. Got yet another silver rupee puzzle, and it won't be the last one that we see, by the way. But we're going to have to collect all these. There's fans on like either side of the room, so it's going to make things a little bit more annoying. I think I messed up at first there. So we're going to play the Song of Time here, and that will cause a block to appear underneath the first silver rupee. So pretty much all that's left to do from here is just wait for that fan to stop and then grab it. I'm going to put on the hover boots here because it kind of helps in getting out to the main area, so do that. And now we just stand here and wait for it to start blowing again. Or I guess we don't have to. I suppose I could have just run out and it didn't really matter that much. You can see there's a silver rupee kind of floating above me here. We're pretty much going to be saving that one for last, so because we can't really get it by where we're at, so we're gonna have to go somewhere else to do that. But first we want to take out this beamos, obviously, or else it's gonna cause a lot of problems, and you need to get on this platform anyway. Now I can just jump out and grab this silver rupee, which is pretty simple. Jump back and grab this one. You can see there's a switch down there. That's what we're going to be using to get that floating silver rupee I talked about. Now while the fan is powered off, let's jump over and get that one and jump back quickly because you don't want to fall off. Obviously, if you do fall off, then you will have to grab all the silver rupees again, so you definitely want to make sure to avoid that. Now I want to wait for this thing to power off before I try to jump because I'm sure that would screw me up. Alright, so there we go. You push the switch down, and it doesn't really show what it does, but it causes this little hookshot thing to appear. So we can go up to it, climb up, and collect the final silver rupee. Awesome. So now let's get down here before we fall into the pit. I don't remember if you'd need to collect them all again after you've collected them all the first time, like if you fall down, but I'm not sure, so I wouldn't really test that theory if I were you. Well, I guess you can if you want. Either way, we open that door, and this sort of signifies the end of each of the segments we're going to be going through. Once you see that little, it kind of looks like a kernel, I guess, and sort of that barrier stuff there. So you want to grab the light arrow, since it's the first time we're going to use these. You want to aim straight at the thing and shoot it. When you do that, it explodes, and the arrow is still sitting in midair, which is awesome. And then its respective sage will come out and say, "The forest barrier is dispelled. Hurry up, Link." Whoa! So I always thought that was awesome, but yep, so she very nicely teleports you back out to the main room, and as you can see, we have now dispelled the first of the barriers. So we're going to have to do that with, there are 6 of them corresponding to the 6 sages. Even though we only went to 5 temples, there's an extra one there for the light sage, Raru. So there you go. Looks like next up is water, which you can guess this one's going to be a little bit annoying, but it really takes more after the ice cavern than the water temple, so go figure. We've got a bunch of stalactites that are going to fall down, so it's probably a good idea to sort of run around and let them fall first. I got a couple of freezers here to deal with. I think there should be another one right there, who froze me, of course. And then they sort of disappear, which is kind of annoying. You can see there's a lot of those stalactites, too. They're incredibly annoying. Alright, so let's let this one pop back up again. Kill it. Once you do that, the door behind the red ice will unseal, so we need to be grabbing some blue fire. And I would say this is why I have an empty bottle, but the truth is I was just too lazy to fill it back up, so it just happened to work out that way. So we can do that and try not to get hit by all these falling icicles. And then melt the red ice. Then before we continue further, you want to head back and refill your blue fire again. Because we're going to need to use it in the next room, and there's not a blue fireplace there, so it's just more convenient to go ahead and do it now. Then once we get in here, we've got a sliding block puzzle to take care of. And this one is a little bit tricky. You don't really know what to do very much, so let's see. I think what we need to do is push this one this way, then down here. And that will cause us to fill up that little gap, which we want to then push this one across. And sort of do a circle thing. Very reminiscent to me of the Twilight Princess sliding block puzzle inside of the Snow Peak. It's sort of the same idea here. I'm going around in a circle and using stoppers. It reminds me a lot of that, but there you go. Then once you do that, it will cause the block to go into this little alcove here. We can climb on up, and here is that red ice I was talking about. So let's melt this. Awesome, now we're going to need to use the Megaton Hammer. So let's get it out, and there it is. And we're going to have to hit this rusted switch, which will unseal the door. Now we need to quickly get back out before time runs out. I'm not really sure why there is a timer in here. You know, like logically speaking, I guess you freeze to death or something. I have no idea, but either way, we can head on through the door, and this is the end of the Water Temple segment. Like I said, it really resembles the Ice Cavern a lot more than the Water Temple, so not quite sure why that is. I guess they figured you've had enough of the Water Temple's mechanics for now, but and I have to agree. Water barriers dispelled. Hurry up. Whoa! Okay, sorry, I had to do it. Okay, so we get sent back out to the main room, and now the water barrier has been dispelled, as Rudo told us. And now we can move on to the next one, which is, looks like the shadow barrier, so that's definitely going to be cool. We're also going to be getting an important item in here, so just keep that in mind. This one is actually probably the coolest looking one out of all of them. I mean, check this out. Whoa, it's like it was changing colors there a little bit, like if you walk back. Oh, well, it changed colors when I walked in, we'll put it that way, but trippy, multicolored fog down there, so yeah, you don't want to fall, of course. Now, common sense would tell you if you see a big, you know, open chasm here, especially with Shadow Temple mechanics, you want to use the Lens of Truth, but actually that's not what you want to do. We're going to get out the fire arrows and look over to the right where you see an unlit torch. Shoot it. And as you can see, that will cause these little platforms to appear. So let's just wait for the green bubble to get out of the way. We can jump over here to this platform with the like. Obviously, don't get eaten, which is easier said than done a lot of the time. But there you go. Alright, there we go. He almost got me. But alright, so we kill him, and he drops some rupees, which is great. Now we want to shoot the unlit torch again. And that will cause some more platforms to appear here. Now we want to sort of quickly get a move on here and head down this way. There's a switch that you want to be careful not to jump too far off of. It is possible to just jump straight over it. Then you don't need to worry about the platforms disappearing because this one stays. You can hookshot back onto the chest. And this is that important item I was talking about, so let's go ahead and open it. We get the golden gauntlets. You can feel even more power coursing through your arms. Grab with A and lift stuff up. Yeah, lift stuff. Awesome. So, yeah, that's pretty much... we needed the golden gauntlets in order to get the final upgrade that I've sort of been talking about here. So if we want, we can go get that now, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just sort of finish up this barrier section, and then we'll head back out once that's over with. I guess I didn't need to do that. I actually kind of forgot what I was doing for a minute. You got a switch out there to press, and you can see some hearts along the way, so now is where you want to use the Lens of Truth. Your instinct is correct here. So we need to make our way along this unnecessarily curvy platform. And we're going to have to get out the Megaton Hammer again. Alright, so we press that, and the door unseals. Now we need to make our way back. And, of course, being careful not to fall, because if you do, you'll have to start all over. So you don't want that. Got some nice recovery hearts along the way. That's awfully nice of them. So let's go ahead and head on in, and this will signify the end of the shadow portion. Only one room this time, but it was definitely pretty cool. So that's good. Let's get the light arrows back out and take care of this one. I still love how that arrow just floats in midair there. So Impa's going to come out and tell us the shadow barrier is dispelled. Please save the princess. Of course. Whoa! Back in the main room once again, the shadow barrier goes away. And like I said, now that we have the golden gauntlets, we can go back outside of here and get that upgrade, but I'm going to finish this up because there are only 3 more to go. We're pretty much halfway done, and you can see this one right here. There's this big black obelisk there we're going to have to take care of. That's what we need the golden gauntlets for also, so you do need to get those in order to actually beat this place, but there you go. So now that we're in the fire portion, of course, it's so hot in here we can't stay here for long, so we're going to switch over to the Goron Tunic. 3 minutes is probably enough to do this, but I just really don't want to have to worry about it. So we've got yet another silver rupee puzzle to take care of. If you stand on this, it will slowly start to sink. It does move quite slowly, but don't take too long, because it is very easy to stay on for too long. Then once we get that, we want to head over here to this one, I guess, because it's closest. It's not sink in the lava. Well, there you go. Even if you do have the Goron Tunic equipped, you do still fall in there. It's like instant, you know. I don't want to say instant death because you don't die, but it sends you back to the beginning either way. So it's not lava that you can walk in. So let's just go ahead and jump over here. I was waiting for the fire to sort of get out of the way, but it looks like I misjudged it a little bit, so that's no big deal. Alright, so now we got that. Let's hop back over here. You can see there is a silver rupee way over there that we can't really seem to jump to, but you want to come over here first. Jump onto this and go up, and you can see there's another black obelisk here, so this is, we can finally show off the golden gauntlets. Let's grab it. Oh man, that's so awesome. I love that. You only get to see it a few times though, unfortunately, but this is one of them, so it's cool. Silver rupee underneath, and that also creates a bridge over there for us to sort of get across to that last one that's out in the middle. Watch out for the red bubble. Now, I guess we can take out this torch slug. He's not really doing anything to us, but whatever. He needs to die, I suppose. And then we can jump across here, back onto here, and that will get us the final silver rupee, finally. So yeah, that one's a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad. We've got a hookshot target over there, which is kind of frustrating to get to. I don't think we can grab it from here. If we could, that'd be nice, but it doesn't look like it. I think we're just barely too far away. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to have to do it from here, and of course, as you know, this platform sinks when you're standing on it, so you're going to feel really rushed when you're trying to do this, but just take your time, make sure you line it up right the first time, and then we can go across. And then once we get here, we've reached the end of the fire temple portion, so light arrows once again, and shoot it. And this time, of course, Daruni is going to pop up and tell us that the fire barrier is dispelled. Hurry up, brother! I'll do what I can, brother. Oh, the arrow was actually inside of him. That's kind of funny. Whoa! Alright. Sorry, I have to do that. I can't stop myself. Alright, so that's 4 of 6 barriers taken care of. Now we get to head over here and deal with another one of these obelisks. So let's go ahead and do it, and this one looks pretty cool as well. Holy crap, watch out! I love how Link just stands there. That thing goes like right through him and he just stands there. That's awesome. But yeah, if that didn't take care of the barrier, we're definitely going to have to do it the long way by taking care of these things. So there you go. And this one is the light barrier, which we didn't really take care of before. Since there wasn't a temple, so we don't really know what to expect, but really there's just kind of a lot of invisible things. This area is actually kind of worthless, to be honest. These invisible enemies we can take care of with the hook shot. There are also keys flying around, as you can see. If he would just stand still, I would like to take care of him now. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to do it the long way. Come on, man. Fly into me or something. There we go. Alright, and then there are some more on pretty much the corner chests. There's also one over here. And yeah, that looks like it's it. So once we destroy all of those, a chest will pop up. We can open it and get a small key, of course. And we're going to be using it to unlock that door. I'm not really sure what's in all of these treasure chests. I get the feeling that at least most of them are fake. The other ones would probably only have like rubies or recovery hearts or arrows or, you know, something like that. And here, this is probably the most worthless room in existence. They could really have afforded to just cut this out. Gonna walk forward on the crest, and just for old time's sake, I suppose, we're gonna have to play Zelda's Lullaby again. Once you do that, a chest drops down, which, guess what this has in it? The small key, right, and now we can just go on through. Like I said, that's probably the most worthless room in this entire game. So now we've got a little puzzle to deal with here. First things first, I like to use the hook shot to get this first one. And then you can see there are silver rubies in sort of each of the little alcoves here. I like to try to hit the boulder with that first hook shot if you can, because that gives you a lot more time since the boulders are kind of like in the exact same place. Makes things a lot easier here. Then we can just finish grabbing the silver rupees, and I guess we should wait for the boulders to roll on by again. And then go through the door. Wow, that's kind of close, actually. Oh, wait, we've made it here, but there's no acorn thing. Acorn thing? Kernel thing, whatever it's called. I don't know. But turns out, yeah, this is actually kind of cool. I like this. You can just walk right through this wall, and the real one is behind it. So that's pretty cool. It kind of freaks you out for a minute. But so there we go. We shoot that one, and it explodes. And this time, our old buddy Raru is going to come up and say that the light barrier is dispelled. Hurry! Whoa! Hey, that one was kind of different. And we didn't go through a door. That's disappointing. Okay. Well, there we go. So now we're back out here with 5 of the 6 barriers. The only one left is the spirit, if I'm remembering correctly. And it looks like it.